5 years, 10K teachers, 20 million lives impacted. Now I want you to see some of the work that we have going on the ground with amazing educators and thinkers just like you.
Step into the light where the questions glow.
So during the fellowship, I've been able to make some extremely valuable connections. The Thinkering Network has been very helpful, really varied. I mean, so many different expertises coming into the room. It's also allowed me to collaborate, to brainstorm ideas, as well as to put my toolbox together. I think the thing that sticks out the most was when I sat down with Meryl for one of my first meetings with her. She asked me, what is your legacy with this? And I had never thought of a project that I'd done in that frame of reference. So I thought, well, okay, I will make this a legacy. If I can start it with one experience in one club, maybe throughout the network of the Boys and Girls Clubs across America, we can collaborate on a whole bunch of these and we can have a giant library of experiences. So that just made me think bigger than what I'm used to thinking about. The Thinkering Network has really pushed me to think about that. So really a growing experience for me.
Welcome to Kaleidoscope Learning. This is the name of my small business that I'm starting. And the first project under Kaleidoscope Learning will be a social emotional curriculum specifically created for gifted learners. The curriculum is different than other curriculums out there in that it is a developmental continuum. Its learning is personalized and it's not one size fits all.
What comes next is we're here to support, right? The fellowship has started this. So that means everything from what funds do you need for your program? What people do you need? What partners? What tools? Maybe more education. How do we just have you now as a partner of Thinkering, right? Your organization the same way as all these big companies sit at the table, right? Like you're here, you're creating. I know we could definitely help.
I'm Oluwakemi Oluriola, and I'm an educational technology STEM advocate here in Nigeria, and really do have that passion to see every child given the opportunity to engage with STEM as practically as possible. I would say this really is born from a passion. There's been a lot of challenges with access to STEM, especially in the rural areas, budget, resources, lack of labs, and all that. Safari, which is an African word, we know when you talk about safari, you want to go on exploration, you want to go on adventure. And then the experts there conveys kind of speed and accessibility. So how could we make STEM adventurers and take the exploration with speed and accessibility to these underserved communities? Because the kids come together and they go back to the schools where they don't have access to this kind of engagement. And I say, for me, if I'm able to spark a fire, something burning within those kids that say, oh, this is something I can do, this is something I can be. And at any other opportunity, somebody else may flame it up. So I'm just okay with sparking that fire of curiosity, that fire of interest, and hoping that along the line it gets flamed by other kinds of engagements. STEM for Safari wasn't just a thought that was birthed when I started the Thinkering. It's something I looked forward to doing. I had reached out also before, and nothing seemed to be coming forward, so I kind of shelved it, hoping that one day it would come alive again, and I'm glad that Thinkering Fellowship has brought it to life.
So I was kind of rethinking how I can make my GT programming more useful to the students or more current, more relevant to their lives and what they're doing, and not just an extra project. Being that most of my students that I'm working with are overachievers and perfectionists, they've been feeling a lot like, this is like a whole other project that I have to do, and it's like more schoolwork. And I think that's one of the hardest things with gifted students, is that often we just give them more work. And even though it was like meaningful to them and fun and interesting to them, when you add it on top of everything they're doing, it just felt like more. And so I wanted to create something that was connected to everyone. So at the end of the year, we can see like, this is what we as a group created, or this is the change that we made for our school and our community.
We've got a provincial park down the road from us, and that's where the whole project came out of. And that's the beginning of looking after our community, looking after the Ottawa watershed was our school theme. The Ottawa River is a canoe highway in the parks for Indigenous people. And so we knew there was a whole lot of Indigenous history in our neighborhood. And I'm also part of the eco club here in the schools. So that's why I enjoy Thinkering. I felt so comfortable with Thinkering Collective, is our school board pushes this deep learning. They do social entrepreneurial projects. They allow you to do anything you want. We looked after the homeless. This is student driven, not just mine. We raised money for the Ottawa River Keepers. So we supported a non-profit that looks after the Ottawa River. My final project, Indigenous Consultant, I was telling her about it. And she wants to purchase so many of the books. So that's the whole aspect. And this project that it went into became the next level.
My vision is to empower every student to become a leader, solve real-world problems, connect with their heritage. So some of our goals are to create a learning environment that is relevant, equitable, and purposeful. So this started off as a underused garden space, and because I know a lot of people have started, and it's a great space, and I've been using it myself, but for quite a while it was pretty much just full of weeds and just really needed some revitalization. So what I'm trying to do is establish a sustainable student-led garden that serves as a living class and a community resource. So instead of it just being like a tiny garden, we're trying to use as, to solve, work on real world problems and have the kids come up with solutions and really use that critical thinking. It transforms education into a human-centered experience through agency and linking learning to identity and community. They feel seen, heard, and valued. They're going to have a lot of input with the subject and really, take ownership of a lot of the subjects and the garden. It allows them to engage in real-world sustainability, share cultural stories, and solve community challenges. I'm already connecting with quite a few of the local businesses and community members and before we actually implement this project. So I know that it's already going to really help the community. My project overview, it's a student sustainable school garden initiative addressing food insecurity, environmental sustainability, and cultural heritage.
My vision is empowering middle school students to create a healthier and just community by working together to increase access to fresh and nutritious produce and foods for everyone. This matters to me because people assume Colorado is one of the healthiest states, and it is, but our data is skewed. We have healthy parts of the states, but in Aurora, we have 1 in 5 students who are suffering from childhood obesity. So teaching nutrition and health and giving them, empowering them to garden is just one way to address that health disparity that we see. Everybody brings their own palettes and their own traditions and their own stories, which I know we're all big on storytelling and the Thinkering Collectives. It was just well paced and the questions were just right. So I can imagine using it with students. So speaking of students, they are knocking on my door.
I got the, opportunity to join this Thinkering Collective and a bunch of other really cool resources that are asking me to be a part of their development and developing curriculum for, our local educators. So it's been a total blessing in disguise. That moment of sickness and that disgust and depression has completely been erased.
Curiosity propels change. At Thinkering Collective, we envision a world where students, educators, and communities co-create meaningful learning experiences grounded in shared human values. By leveraging creativity, curiosity, and passions, empower educators and communities to design learning that prepares the next generation. So going back to our moonshot goal, 5 years, NK educators, 20 million learners. What does that even mean? That means that our intention over the next 5 years is to conduct 10,000 capstone projects with 10,000 educators just like you. And based on the effect that you have within your schools, the numbers, the data, you have the ability in your unique project to affect upwards of 2,000 students' lives. Let's say you build a project and that project is so good that we scale it up. Well, the amount of lives and students that you affect on the ground magnifies, it multiplies. How do we serve so many educators with just amazing experiences, advice, support, and resources? We do that because we're not alone. It's not just me, it's not just Jim, it's not just Evan, our founder. It is a group of 80 plus partners in this field: education, education technology, education research with our university research partners. We have experts all over the place, contextual to our core mission, which is to humanize education in schools for our learners. So our partners are all aligned in that vision and aligned in the support of you, the educator on the ground.